guys, Gramps here with my three hot takes for Midwest Regionals coming up this weekend. We're gonna start off a little cold and go hotter as we go. So starting off with number one, I got Mizzou over Kansas. I know they just played at Ball Brothers and they split, and Mizzou actually lost the second one. But I think at regionals they're going to have the help of their player coach Aaron Stout. I think he's going to help them with some of their strategies so they don't make some bad decisions they made at the second game at Ball Brothers. I think on a side note that every team should have a playing coach or a non-playing ex-player coach in college because it's all the good teams have one now. But also I just think they're going to be riding the hot arm of Justin DeWick, who's going to be the best beater on the pitch all day. And I think they're going to use that advantage to take Kansas when in their matchup.
Hi there, my name is Peyton Jay. I'm a captain and a player for Columbia College Chicago. I'm going to be giving you my sizzling hot takes on this weekend's Midwest Regionals. Hot take number one, pretty certain this one's going to be definitely my own. I think that Northern Colorado and Blue Jays are going to by far be the closest game of the day. I think the powerhouse teams like Creighton's A team, Mizzou, and Kansas are going to have a little bit more divisive and decisive wins. I think you're going to see a little bit of some upsets maybe. I have full faith, and I'll talk about it a little bit later, of some stuff that might happen. But I do think that Northern Colorado and Blue Jays are going to be a way closer game just because Northern Colorado is a little bit more isolated. They don't get to play as much. And Blue Jays is a pretty much all rookie team. And even though they have some advising from Curtis Taylor, who's a remarkable coach, I don't think all of the effort is going to be put into them. I think most of it's going to be on Creighton's A team all day long. So I think we're going to see a little bit more of a closer, kind of at least nail-biting, fun, exciting set with Northern Colorado and Blue Jays. I think that's pretty much going to be it. I think you're going to see a lot more, clean-cut Quidditch games than the other ones, but that one's going to be a rowdy one for sure.
Hi everyone, Curtis Taylor, head coach of Creighton Quidditch, and on the support staff or assistant coaching for Blue Jay Quidditch, which is the JV program here at Creighton this year for their first year. They're head coached by Makoa Pariza and Dom Krzmarzik, two former players, but I'll be giving hot takes for both teams going into Midwest Regionals 2021. I would say my first hot take is, I'll start with the varsity. The three for varsity are hot take number one, Sena Morimoto is going to be a complete game changer for this team. Our U.S. National Team Development Academy player, besides Darian Mersick Ellis, was out playing goalie for Guam's national soccer team for their World Cup qualifying chances during our first two tournaments, and so he missed a lot of the very beginning of the season, and this will be his first game since 2019. Having Sena back is huge for this team and will provide some amazing facilitation and really kind of lead us forward in better ways than we have in the past few tournaments. So look for Sena to be an absolute game changer for Creighton Quidditch going into Midwest Regionals.
Hi everyone, my name is Tad Walters. I'm the coach of the Columbia College Renegades team. I'm in the same space as Peyton because we're doing a film session later, and because I'm an old man who doesn't have a good webcam, so it just seemed to make sense. I'm bringing the hot, spicy gumbo up north with some hot takes for you guys, and here we go. The first one I have is that I do think that Creighton could drop a game this weekend. I'm not saying they're not still going to win the whole thing, but I definitely think that they are more susceptible to losing to Mizzou or Kansas than people realize. Even the last regional championship, a lot of people were very high on Creighton, saying Creighton was easily going to win the region. And then a smaller roster with less athletic players in Mizzou completely dismantled Creighton in the finals. I definitely don't think that's going to happen this time. It's not going to be a dismantling if they lose. It's going to be a close game. But if they do lose, it's going to be on the hands of a very scrappy Kansas team that has a lot of Casey Stampede alumni and Aaron Grant, Kate Ruiz, as well as Katie Brandstetter, who's been playing chaser and beater and doing a great job, at least at Ball Brothers. Or is going to become at the hands of Mizzou with Justin DeWick, hopefully playing more minutes than he played at Ball Brothers, and who was a huge part of dismantling Creighton in that last regional championship. Between Justin DeWick, Vincent Reyes, who's been playing both sides of the ball, beater and chaser and keeper, and even Robbie Wallace, I do think there's a lot of potential for Creighton to not come away with every single win this weekend. Even though Mizzou and Kansas have smaller teams, smaller rosters, again, I think that chance always exists. Especially it's a different day, you know.
Number 2 is that Mizzou is probably going to beat Kansas, but I don't think either one of them is going to win it all. I think Creighton finally breaks through this year and wins it all. I thought the biggest problem Creighton was going to have all year was their beater play. So I thought when they went to Oktoberfest, they were going to have, Oktoberfest in the Northeast, they're going to run into better beaters and have issues with that. And they clearly did not. So I think with that, I don't think there's anything stopping them now because I think their chaser line is better than most teams in the country, and that includes club teams. I don't want to tackle half that team. I don't want to be tackled by 3/4 of that team. It's a scary team. So I think they're going to win it all this year finally.
I do think that, without question, my second take is that Vincent Reyes is by far going to be the MVP of the tournament. Despite, if Mizzou gets a bid or not, I do think that Vince has a lot of skill across the board, all positions. Would not be surprised if we see all 3 headbands getting swapped, even within one game with Vincent. He had a remarkable presence at Ball State's Ball Brothers a couple weeks back, and I don't think that's going to stop there. I think with this higher level of teams that they're going to be playing, like Creighton, Kansas again, I do think that Vincent's going to be by far the most adamant and strong player and the strongest showing of the weekend. We could have seen a Mizzou-Creighton upset. I think everybody's going in with Creighton being by far the number 1 team in this tournament. I do think, similarly to some others, that Mizzou, of any team, has the potential to beat Creighton. I just do not think, due to where they play, last game before bracket play, Mizzou's got a smaller squad compared to Creighton's larger roster. I do think it'll be a little bit harder for them that late in the day to be able to get that sort of upset win, but I do think if you flopped the Creighton-Kansas games and the Creighton-Mizzou games and let Creighton and Mizzou play first in the day, I think there would be a lot of potential for an upset there, but I do not think it's going to happen this weekend at the very least, but there's definitely potential for a whole lot to happen. Game 8, Mizzou versus Kansas, I do think we are going to see not the same run back we saw at Ball Brothers. Kansas kind of dominantly beat out Mizzou. It was not that close of a set in the finals of Ball State's Ball Brothers this year, but I do not think that is an accurate showing of what Mizzou's potential is. I do think, as I said earlier with Vince and some other powerhouse players in there and the loving support of their gong every time they score a point, that Mizzou will actually end up beating Kansas this time. I cannot speak for bracket play, but I do think in their pool plays match that Mizzou will come out on top. It's, for me, kind of a no-brainer. I think Kansas has a lot of potential. I think Kansas has potential to be the number 1 seed of the tournament and end up winning it all and being the actual lead. But I do think in their game against Mizzou, that is going to be where they drop, at least during pool play.
I would say hot take number 2. It'll be a showcase of the rookie men on varsity. Our varsity is pretty stacked with returning women on this team, but the 5 spots that were open to new players were taken up by some men, seniors to freshmen. Starting with our seniors, Matt Gulick. He played a little bit with Kansas City this summer, but this is his first collegiate Quidditch experience, so it is his rookie season for Creighton Quidditch. Then you've got juniors Brian Domingo and Jonah Kea. You can't miss either of them. High energy and size between the two of them, but they have been, we call them 3rd-year rookies, as they started their spring of their freshman year right before COVID hit, so never played a tournament, but this will be their rookie season as well. Phenomenal players, high impact. And then you've got our 2 freshmen that have joined the team in that respect, and that is Kavana Abrigo and Max Chang at Chaser Seeker and Beater respectively. Those 2 will provide some phenomenal play and high level, high intensity, great athleticism from both of them. And I would say probably the biggest standout is the lone sophomore on the team for varsity, and that is Ryan Megio. He's done a phenomenal job of kind of inserting himself, getting himself in there, and providing a new look. Very athletic, football background, basketball background, very much a key impact player as we get into the lines of Creighton Quidditch.
Second take, and a lot of people are really high on the athleticism of Creighton, as am I. I think they're probably one of the most athletic, if not the most athletic teams in the country. I'm sure Blue Jay is no different. However, a lot of people are saying that Blue Jay could come away with one of these 3 bids, and I gotta disagree. I do think Blue Jay is going to get a bid, but I don't think it's going to be this weekend. I can see them getting a bid at Great Lakes in the next regional to take place on November 6th and 7th. But this weekend, I don't think Blue Jay, with its team completely of rookies, there's no returners on Blue Jay, I think they're going to struggle against just the knowledge and the game experience that, again, these MLQ players from Mizzou and from Kansas are going to bring to the game. Throw in just any kind of advanced beater play from Mizzou, I think they have no chance against. And even KU, they just have so many scrappy athletic players with, I think, just a little more game sense than a lot of rookies on Blue Jay are going to have. I think it's going to be hard earned for Blue Jay to get a bid this weekend.
And then number 3, my hottest take, between Mizzou and Kansas, I don't think they both get bids. I think Creighton's B team is going to surprise everybody, and they're going to steal a bid from Mizzou or Kansas. And I'm betting it's going to be Kansas. I think, much like Creighton's A team has an insane chaser line, I think the Blue Jays are going to have a not as crazy of a chaser line, but I think their chasers are still going to be way more athletic and just powerful compared to Mizzou and Kansas, and they're not going to be able to stop them. And I think Mizzou's got a much better shot at stopping them because with Justin DeWick, strong beater play can counter that chaser play, but I don't think Kansas has a shot at being able to stop them. So I'm gonna say that Blue Jays are gonna take that 3rd spot away from Kansas. Good luck. See you guys at regionals.
As for JV, so for Blue Jay Quidditch, I think my first take is this is a squad of athletes and literally 100% brand new. So my first take is that they will athletically beat some teams that they probably shouldn't beat based off of being perennial powerhouses. I think JV is going to put phenomenal games up on KU, Mizzou, and take care of business against UNC. And I could really see that team putting it to these perennial powerhouses and really making them work for that W, or getting down to like golden goal kind of situations with these programs. I see this team being very, very good, very, very good. I mean, we have very hard decisions to be made when we were splitting the teams up. And these kids made it that way. They are phenomenal, and they are pushing what is the class, the 12 freshmen that we have coming in, plus the 2 on varsity. I mean, we've got a huge recruiting class coming in. So it's a great problem to have, and I think that they're going to push these perennial powerhouses to the brink and steal some games.
My third take is that a lot of people are, again, like have these highly touted athletic chasers from Creighton, including a lot of new rookies, pairing up with a lot of these great returners like Joe, like DME, like Senna. However, I think that the rookie of the tournament is actually going to be Kyler Choquette from Kansas, number 33. He's actually a Papillion, Nebraska native, so it's kind of like D-Rose coming back and playing in Chicago. He's going to have a great game, I think. And so, Kyler had a fantastic Ball Brothers. I want to say he dropped like 50 or 60 points on Columbia in the semifinals of Ball Brothers. Great player, has a really great game sense for being so young into the sport. And I really think that just because Kansas is so small, he'll be getting a lot of playing time and a lot of time with the ball in his hands. So I think he's going to be one of the most effective rookies that we see this weekend in Papillion. Thanks, everyone. And those are my hot takes for the Midwest Regional Championship.
Number 2 kind of follows suit with that. I genuinely believe there is an opportunity for Creighton to play JV in the final. And my hot take is that Creighton will take all medals at Midwest Regionals this year. So I don't think that is to be cocky. I genuinely believe that this JV is something special as well. In any given year on any other program, I think a lot of these players would start or play for the A team on most programs. And so to be in the position that we're in is phenomenal, but it also will showcase the breadth and depth of this program as a whole. My final hot take for Blue Jay Quidditch is your breakout player is probably going to be a surprise. And I would say we will probably have a lot more breakout players coming from JV than from varsity just because of all the fresh faces and new names. But I would say 3 players to watch on JV are Maddie Nemani. She's going to play her very first game ever at Midwest Regionals. We snagged her from club basketball, and she has been phenomenal in practice in the very few practices she's had, but she's caught on very quickly. I would say another player that is going to take his first steps on the pitch is going to be TJ O'Connor, who has also really gotten the beating game down very quickly and will play his very first games at Midwest Regionals. And then I would say probably one of the last players who has never played a single game in his life, who is really going to show off this weekend, is Dylan Yamada. Also a freshman, all 3 freshmen, but will really turn heads from a JV perspective. You've got Connor Dvorak, Corey Jobman, Riley Usami. I mean, I could go on and on and on about this entire team. Anna Walter, Katie Bine. I mean, like across the board, we've got just I could binge and talk about everyone, because that's how obsessed I am with this JV team too. But I would say, yeah, you've got some great names and going to be some awesome standouts coming in from this JV program going into regionals. So yeah, my hot take for the whole tournament really is that Creighton's going to dominate, and by Creighton I mean the program, not just the varsity. It's going to be a fun weekend for us, and I would say the games against each other, multiple hopefully, those games will end up being some of the most fun to watch as well. So, roll Jays.
This is our hot take.
This is our hot take.
Those were our hot takes. Tad Walters, best coach in the Midwest.
That's a good one.